What's the point of being a barista if you haven't got a feel for what you're doing? All right, so what I did first up is that I'm not good at roasting, so I'm a great believer in people doing what they're good at and not doing what they're not good at, but finding the right people to do those things. So first of all, I look for a roaster that can roast the blend that I want to my specifications, and I can deal with, and I can build a relationship with. Our first roaster got sold a couple of years ago. We had a really good relationship with them. Their business got sold to another company, and invariably that company drove that into the ground, so we had to leave them and find another supplier. We found a really good supplier in Melbourne, an Italian roaster in Melbourne that do a lot of roasting. I believe we are their biggest Queensland customer at the moment. We wanted to make sure the quality was right, and we did a lot of testing with them before I was comfortable to go with them. Yeah, they've been great. What we know now is that when we get our coffee, it's right. We don't have to worry about the roasting, we don't have to worry about the beans when they come to us. We know that that's right, we've just got to worry about making it. I've been through a tour through the roastery last year and got to have a look at all their processes and the way they do their roasting and their quality control and that. So it made us very comfortable with the product that we're receiving. It takes the worry off us. That's why I'm happy that if we've got someone with a good enough quality control, we can then concentrate on what we do at the back end.
Yeah. What about the other elephant in the room, as in regards to coffee machines?
Yeah, well, the coffee machines, so if you're a good barista, you shouldn't need a machine, a $30,000, $25,000 machine with all the bells and whistles and buttons and programming and everything. Why do you need that? If you're confident as a good barista, why do you need some machine where you stand there and press a button? You might as well go and work at McDonald's and use one of the automatic machines where anyone could just stand there and push a button and it's all done for you. So our machines particularly are very simple. They're a mid-range machine. They're by no means like a cafe racer or anything like that. They're not full of buttons and they're not double boiler or triple boiler or the latest fad, and they haven't got they don't look like a spaceship, and they're very, very serviceable. They use standard group heads. They use standard parts. We only have 3 buttons on each tower. So as you can see, they're underbar machines. We only have 3 buttons on each tower. So what happens is that those buttons are programmed for your basic shots, and then after that, it's up to the barista to manipulate the coffee into whatever the customer wants. So if the barista's skilled enough, that's all you need. You don't need 100 buttons and programming and everything like this.
Yeah.
You don't need to weigh coffee. Like a lot of people weigh the shots, which is just like the opportunity cost of the time taken to do that and the difference in quality, no one will notice.
Yeah.
All right, so you don't need to do that. You just need a grinder that is good enough quality, that's set up properly. If you're a good barista, you can set your grinder up. You know how your grinder works. You've got a feel for it.
Yeah.
You don't need to go to that nth degree.
And you're hand tamping everything?
Yeah. I'm a great believer in hand tamping.
Yeah.
I don't like the automatic tampers. Fine. So people say, well, it's consistent. You'll get a consistent tamp each time. But if you have a feel for what you're doing, all of those things take the feel away from the barista, right? So what's the point of being a barista if you haven't got a feel for what you're doing? So all of these automatic things exclude the barista from the process. Some people might say that's good. I don't think that's good. If you're making good quality coffee, even the highest quality coffee that you make, the barista's got to be a major element of that. You can't be excluding them from all these different things. If your equipment is set up properly, basically right, your barista then can watch and see and knows what's going on, can watch the pour, tell whether the pour is right or not, and then they know how to adjust things for the next pour, if it needs adjusting, whatever, or if they need to do another one, and they can tell straight away what they need to do to adjust the next one to get the next one right if they're not happy with that pour that's happened. So you can't, a lot of this equipment they're having now is removing the barista from the process, just making them stand there and select one of 10 buttons. It's already programmed to do this, this or that.
Yeah.
How's that being a barista? That's not. So if you're going to make coffee, that's good quality, that makes people happy, it makes them feel good inside, you've got to have some love in there, and the only way you're going to get that is from the person that's actually making it. So they've got to have a certain amount of involvement in the process. These machines make sure that the baristas have that involvement.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and you've got quite a few of those machines, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got about 11 of these machines. I think we're the biggest user in Queensland. They're handmade in Sydney, in Balgowlah, by an engineer barista. I love them because they're really easy. They're easy to service.
Yeah.
They use standard parts. There's nothing complicated. And the good thing is, if something goes wrong, I can get in and fix this within like 5-10 minutes. I can replace a part.
Yep.
And none of this mucking around with
especially when you're on the pump. If you've got a busy day, you can get the machine going again.
They are the simplest, quickest machines to fix and service and get up and running again. Really, they're awesome. So every shop that we have has 2 coffee machines in, and we do that for 2 reasons. Number one, we have periods where we need overflow, where we actually have to have 2 baristas on machines to keep the flow going, because not only do we do consistent quality coffee, but it's quite quick as well. We are very fast, and we're not fast to the detriment of quality.
Yeah.
So to enable us to deliver takeaway coffees in a relatively short time frame, we have to have a second machine going, a second barista going to spread those orders across. That's number one. Number two is redundancy. So if a machine happens to break down, all a barista has to do is just go to the other machine and keep going. So we've got the ability to keep the shop up and running, because if your machine's not running, you're not doing business.
Yeah, because your main machines are 3 group and your auxiliaries are 2 group.
The main is always a 3 group, and the backup machine is always a 2 group.
Yeah.
So we can virtually almost keep up with the 2 group. If the 3 group goes down, we can virtually almost keep up to speed with the 2 group.
Yeah.
Because the baristas that work it are used to the machine, so we can keep the thing. But they're the 2 reasons: redundancy and for overflow, and to keep the flow going.
Yeah. What's your most popular drink here?
Our most popular drink would be a medium-sized 12-ounce cappuccino, or flat white. Flat white or cappuccino, they kind of run neck and neck, but generally the medium 12-ounce size.
Yeah.
Because our customer base is the general population. Like I said, our customer base is in the middle of the market.
Yep. That
big fat chunk of people in the middle of the market that just want their coffee every day.
You focus on coffee here and not food.
Yeah. So our primary focus is always the coffee, and then secondary is the food. So we have biscuits and sweets and snacks and things like that. It's all like an add-on. So number one, people order their coffee. Number two, they might get a biscuit or something like that to go with it. It's all takeaway. There's no, we don't have any crockery or anything like that. Everything's done in takeaway. We do have glasses and that for some people who want to sit down and have an extraction, which might be a doppio or an espresso or something. And once we get to know those people like that, we have glasses and that where we do those in like glass and everything. But otherwise, most of our business is all takeaway.
Yeah.